A person can be one of two types of people. A small but real number of people enjoy doing stuff. The opposite is also true, though. Some people don't. Even though they have good intentions, they end up getting nothing done and feeling exhausted as a result. True enough, I was the latter for the vast majority of my formative years. I'm an automated death machine today. I am an effective worker. So I thought I'd make a video explaining how you can achieve amazingness like mine. Learn how to overcome your fears, increase your productivity, and improve the quality of your life by watching this video. Many suggested approaches involve spending money to solve issues. Money issues must be resolved before anything else can be done. Number 1. Deciding what to do. Making choices about what to do and how to proceed when faced with seemingly infinite outcomes is a challenge in and of itself, not to mention a picky one. It takes a lot of mental effort to select tasks, decide what to do, make strategic decisions, and tune out negativity and distractions. The concept of mental energy will be discussed at length in this piece of guidance. Having to decide what to do is already an ordeal. So stressful even that some people experience what is called analysis paralysis. Getting stuck in analyzing mode because there are too many unknown variables to predict the outcome of a decision. If you are more smart than brave, you are prone to this. Deciding what to do always incorporates a great deal of fuzziness, randomness, and heuristics. Tuning out that fuzziness is emotionally taxing and burns up mental energy a lot quicker than one might think. Operating in a smaller decision space is less stressful and less scary, which is one of the main reasons why most people are content with being followers rather than leaders. Number 2. Set up a system to make most of the now what. Choices for you. Both the Eisenhower matrix and the Kanban method are useful decision-making matrices in this situation. Incorporate Kanban. It's time to move beyond starting and into finishing. You may have heard of Kanban, a framework/tool for visually managing work if you're involved in software engineering or any kind of project that has a management approach. Its main appeal is that it allows you to keep your to-dos from stacking up. The Kanban method may have been created by Toyota for the efficient assembly of automobiles in Japan, where space is limited, but it can be applied to any aspect of life. For example, start-finishing is a central tenet of Kanban. Example, the last step of the production is to paint the car red. Therefore, the first thing you do every day paints the unpainted cars and ship them off, so there are no unfinished vehicles standing in your lot. You never keep more paint or cars on site than you can process in a reasonably short amount of time. The lesson is this: always start your days by completing tasks that work towards completing a goal. If you can pay off a small debt, pay it off. If something can be completed, it should be. Whenever possible, focus on the last remaining step of a project. However, there are exceptions to every rule, and sometimes a new strategy is required. However, you can save a lot of time if you already have a plan in place for tackling large workloads. Number 3. You can't get started on a project without some reserve of mental vigor. Spend it on something useful, not nonsense. As a bonus, here's a little-known fact about inspiring yourself and others. It takes the same amount of mental effort to begin a stupid, tedious time waster as it does to begin a similarly tedious but productive or lucrative endeavor. Learn to identify what depletes you and how to avoid it. While I'm perfectly capable of handling long hours of dealing with challenging customers, my day is usually done by the time I have to sort through a pile of papers or wait in line at the post office. The value of your mental capacity can be quantified. You should treat it as a resource, just like money or your time. Someone has essentially stolen from you if they have tricked you into doing a pointless task for them. Worse, you let them. Spending money to have someone else to drudge work is a good idea if you have a lot of it. Let someone else take care of this if they can be paid more per hour than you would be making yourself. Assuming, that is, that you make a very good living. After I established a steady stream of income, my first major purchase was the hiring of a housekeeper and an assistant. You can still benefit from having an assistant even if your income is below the having an assistant threshold by making the investment in one now. Instead of driving myself, I take an Uber and get a lot of work done on my computer. Or I might take a nap, put on some music, and take in the sights. The important thing is that I am not expending cognitive resources that I might need later. Number 4. Reduce the amount of stuff you have and put your money where it matters most. That guy from Fight Club, Tyler Durden, who said, "The things you own end up owning you," was totally right. But I don't agree with the part where he says you have to give up everything you own to be truly free. Believe me, you can be relatively unencumbered by your possession of cool stuff. Don't economize on things you'll have to use frequently if you can afford to do so. Shop for things that not only serve their intended purpose, but also give you joy each time you use them. It is important that the things you use are functional and energizing, without causing you stress or necessitating constant mental or emotional effort to keep under control. Invest in some high-quality pots and pans, a Foreman grill, or a dishwasher if you plan on doing a lot of cooking. Create a home gym if you intend to engage in regular weight training. If you do most of your work on a computer from home, it's important to have a steady workstation and a supportive chair. Number 5. Sleep well. Getting a good night's sleep is the easiest issue I've discussed to date to resolve. Get plenty of sleep by going to bed early, avoiding screen time, or using blue light blocking glasses. Try taking some magnesium twice after dinner, at least 2 hours apart. Put a fascinating read on your nightstand. Number 6. Avoid letting negative people control your decisions. We have only discussed stuff and activities so far. The biggest obstacle to your success, however, will always be other people. There is always someone else draining your strength, time, and resources. Or that friend who can't seem to get laid and complains to you about it non-stop without doing anything to change his situation. Or the obnoxious housemate you have. Like your mother, for example. Given that no man is an island, I don't think it's wise to completely cut off toxic people from your life, but you should certainly evaluate how much time you spend with them. Don't forget that you're the most poisonous person in your own life. Take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror before you start blaming other people's toxicity for your own shortcomings. Number 7. Mend your broken heart. The obviousness of this makes me wonder why it is overlooked so frequently. If you have a lot of negative feelings stored up inside of you, don't expect to make any progress in life. Carrying the weight of your past trauma makes doing any of the things I've mentioned so far that much more challenging. However, herein lies the rub. You may be able to let go of the bag for a while, allowing yourself to experience a surge of power, but eventually you'll pick it back up again when things get tough and you seek the safety of what's familiar. It has become ingrained in us to constantly lug around our mental and emotional burdens. Substance abuse is analogous to a habit. Therefore, every few days, take a deep breath. Put down the bag for a moment and examine the contents, focusing on just one item. If you stare at it for too long, it will disappear. The weight of the bag will seem less the following day. After some time, it will be nothing but an empty bag.